G'day, Wayne Dyson from Bridgeworks here. Look, over the years it's been interesting to watch the cultures of different organisations, and what I want to do is just to summarise what we've found that diminishes or even destroys culture. And there's two really axes or headings that I'd like to use to describe what happens to employees. And in fact, probably the first one to look at is, do I put the business first or the firm first, or do I put myself first? And the second is, can I trust the company or can I not trust the company? They're the two axes that I'd like you to work through to describe what happens to business culture. So essentially, when an employee starts with a business, is a win-win situation. Obviously, people think, I want to do the best for the company, and the company's saying, we want to do the best for this new employee. So it's very productive, win-win culture. But it's interesting, the employees tend to take two completely different pathways. You'll get certain employees that, they're your self-starter. They're the ones that are out there making it happen. In many ways, they don't need the team, they don't need the business, because they're self-starters, they get things happening. They're mavericks, and they're usually very high performers. And you think, hey, this is great, got a high performer. Now, that's okay to a point. But what they're doing is they're putting themselves first, they're not putting the business first. So after a while, what happens is they tend to be quite self-centered. And in fact, so much so that a little bit of fear might kick in, because they think, I'm being a real sole player here and I'm not actually mixing to the team. And in fact, because of that fear, they might think, well, other people are going to disown me. And yeah, generally speaking, that happens. So we end up down in that bottom right-hand box, which is a lose-lose part of this whole process. And in fact, it's not productive. It's not productive for the employee. It's not productive for the business as well. There's a second group of people that tend to take a different pathway. And these tend to be your more honourable, loyal employee. And they tend to do the right thing. They're putting the business first. They're not putting themselves first. They're putting the business first. But after a while, they feel, the business is not supporting me like I thought they would. In fact, I probably feel a little bit shafted. I'm putting all this effort in, but I don't seem to be getting much in return. So they tend to get a bit disillusioned. They still want to do the best for the business, but they can't trust the business anymore. In fact, after a while, if that doesn't improve, the culture doesn't improve, they tend to be in that what I'd call self-preservation mode. So it's all about, I need to protect my job, I don't want to lose my job, and they tend to move again into that lose-lose box down the bottom right-hand side. So we've seen what destroys or diminishes culture. And we see it all around us, don't we? And in fact, it might be happening in your business. So how do we get back to that win-win, most productive top left-hand box? Well, first of all, let's face the facts. Let's get some data around our team health. Let's get some data around our organisational health. And in particular, let's get some data around our behaviours and our attitudes and actions. And in fact, that's really where the rubber hits the road, because essentially the behaviour and attitudes of the leaders dictates the culture of the organisation. Now, in particular, the people that took that pathway, this more self-centred, maverick type employee, tend to go back that same route that they've travelled. So if there can be some reconciliation there and perhaps commitment to change, and getting that commitment to then say, okay, yes, I want to be able to work more with the business. I want to be able to trust the business more, because I can actually see that that's going to be a benefit to me and in fact a benefit to the business. But you know what? The business is on probation. So they're on the lookout. They're looking at the attitudes and behaviours in particular of the leadership of the organisation. But being a bit of a maverick and being a high performer, accountability is very, very important to keep people like that on track. So Bridgeworks helps organisations to set up those accountabilities. And in fact, if we've got the right accountabilities, we get people back into that win-win box, which of course is most productive for that employee and in particular the business. Now equally, the people that have come down, the more honourable, loyal employee, tend to go back the same route, going across to the bottom left-hand box. But again, it's about not just reconciliation, but it's about building trust. I need to start getting trust in this firm, because I don't actually particularly like putting me first. I'd rather put the firm first, because I know that that's going to be a win-win eventually. So they tend to go into that bottom left-hand box, and when they're seeing some actual tangible results happening, they tend to start moving up towards that win-win box, because they're starting to trust the firm. I can actually trust the firm. The firm's actually making some tangible difference. They're actually supporting me a lot better than now that they've got feedback from me. I'm actually performing a lot better, and I actually want to perform better, and I really like working in that win-win box. So that tends to be the way that they tend to travel. Build the trust, build up the confidence. They can actually see some tangible change from their leaders, and away we go. And isn't that what you want in your business? You want to be able to have that win-win. So you know you've got employees, you've got your mavericks, you've got your honourable, loyal people, you've got a whole mix and diversity, which actually leads to the richness of an organisation. But you want them to be working in a way that I'm putting the firm first and I can trust the firm. And that's really where the most productive results happens. So thanks for listening into this presentation, and I look forward to working with you down the track. Thanks.